Text message received. Welcome to Deception Wedding Planning. The anonymous text contained a picture of my spouse in a non-traditional wedding gown from our ceremony 5 years ago. Below it read, "Venue tour this Saturday. Using her maiden name for discretion, you should be aware." I found myself frozen in the parking lot of my workplace with engine running and heat blasting against the winter chill, my hands steady, heart unmoved. I reread those 2 sentences repeatedly, seeking a different interpretation, but it was clear. My wife Camilla was arranging another wedding, and I was not the intended bridegroom. The photo depicted her in an extravagant venue with floor-to-ceiling windows, ornate chandeliers, white chairs neatly arranged. Her smile mirrored the one from our actual wedding day, but the dress was updated, more fashionable and costly. I ought to have phoned her straight away, asked for an explanation, but something prevented me. Perhaps it was self-preservation instinct or simply shock. Instead, I took a screenshot of the message, saved the photo, and drove home in silence. When I entered, Camilla was humming in the kitchen as she chopped vegetables for dinner. Everything appeared and felt ordinary. She turned when she heard the door, smiled, asked about my day. "All right," I replied, "had a lengthy meeting with the Milwaukee client." "Darling," she said, drying her hands on a towel before kissing my cheek, "go ahead and open some wine, dinner's nearly ready." I opened the wine, we ate dinner. She chatted about her sister's upcoming baby shower and an issue with her manager at the dental office where she worked. I nodded in appropriate places and made suitable comments while studying her face for any hint of guilt or unease, but found none. Either she was a masterful actress or completely unaware that someone had just exposed her secret life. Following dinner, as she took a shower, I examined her phone, an action I acknowledge goes against privacy, trust, and everything marriage counselors caution against. In that instant, however, my thoughts were far from trust. Instead, they centered around the wedding dress photo and the venue walkthrough scheduled for Saturday. Her messages showed no signs of suspicion, just routine communications with her mother, sister, coworkers, a group chat about book club, nothing out of the ordinary. Similarly, her emails were uneventful, containing appointment confirmations, promotional newsletters, work correspondence, until I found the second email account. 2024@gmail.com. Her maiden name, Camilla Torres, was logged in on Safari, concealed beneath autofill recommendations. Upon opening it, I encountered a disparate existence: venue quotes, photography packages, catering menus, alteration appointments set for February 8th, and emails from Dominic, numerous over 7 months filled with wedding planning discourse, affectionate messages, and mentions of our upcoming union on March 15th. With only 2 months remaining, I snapped photos of everything using my own device, meticulously closed each tab, erased the browsing history, and returned her phone to its original location. As Camilla emerged from the bathroom in her robe, drying her hair with a towel, I was sitting on the bed, idly browsing ESPN on my phone. "Everything okay?" she inquired. "You seem pensive tonight," she added. "Just tired," I replied. Feeling unwell, she touched my forehead with the back of her hand. "You seem warm. Shall I make you some tea?" I replied. "I'm fine, just planning to go to bed early." She tenderly kissed my temple, a gesture of concern typical of a wife. I felt nothing. The following morning, I called in sick to work and visited a private investigator in the suburbs, found through a law firm's website. He was discreet, experienced, specialized in infidelity cases. Reeves, a former cop in his 50s with gray hair and a face weathered by experience. I showed him an anonymous message, wedding venue photos, and screenshots from Camilla's secret email account. "How long have you been married?" he asked. 5 years, 7 years together. Do you have children?" "No, we've discussed it. She wants her career to be more stable first." Reeves nodded, taking notes. "And you don't know who Dominic is?" "Haven't encountered her name until last night. Have you contemplated saving the marriage?" The question surprised me as my attention had been engrossed in facts and evidence. However, after reflection, I answered negatively. "I don't think so," I responded firmly. "Not anymore, not given what has transpired." Therefore, we move forward with gathering evidence for divorce, potentially including fraud charges if she's indeed engaging in bigamy, as it seems to be her intention. What do I require? All relevant documentation, proof of any second ceremony, financial records indicating marital asset diversion, and communications suggesting premeditation or conspiracy. I can monitor her activities, record meetings with Dominic, verify the venue inspection on Saturday. "Proceed," I instructed. "Everything." Discussing his rates was secondary, their expense didn't deter me. I granted him access to our joint bank account records, mortgage documents, everything necessary for constructing a case. As I was departing, Reeve added, Any thoughts on who might have sent that anonymous message you received? Not a clue, but it could be significant to uncover. Could be someone from her circle with a moral compass or someone pursuing their own motives. He tapped his pen on the desk. Regardless, they provided a helpful service. The following Saturday, I told Camilla I was golfing with college pals. Stated I ran into Reeve 3 blocks from Riverside Manor, an upscale estate known for its stone facade and well-maintained gardens even in winter. We observed them from my car loaded with telephoto equipment. At precisely 11 a.m., Camilla pulled into the parking lot in her Honda Civic. A man stepped out of the passenger seat, around early 30s, wearing an expensive coat, presumably Dominic. They walked hand in hand towards the entrance. Reeve captured photos. For the next hour and a half, I monitored them through binoculars as my wife explored the venue with her fiancé, the wedding coordinator, and what seemed to be a photographer. They indicated at spaces, showed affirmative gestures, jotted down observations. At a certain moment, Camilla burst out laughing following Dominic's remark, and he playfully spun her around in the main hall. She seemed content. "Are you really genuinely content?" Reeves whispered softly. "Yes," I replied. "Merely observing your wife planning her second wedding while you're still married to her feels unreal. I've witnessed numerous events in this profession," Reeves said, continuing to capture moments. "This undeniably ranks among the most audacious ones." When the tour concluded, Camilla and Dominic stayed in his car for an additional 20 minutes. Reeves managed to get clear shots of them kissing, conversing, laughing. Later, Dominic departed, leaving Camilla alone for a short while before she drove away in the opposite direction. "Where does he presume she is when she's with you?" I inquired. "Indeed, that's the question," Reeves put down his camera. "My assumption is that she shared some tale about a roommate predicament or an obstacle he can't surmount to explain why they aren't living together yet." "Goodness gracious," Reeves said, taking out his tablet. "I conducted a preliminary background search on Dominic Casolano. Clean record, employed in pharmaceutical sales, owns a condo in Wauwatosa, and judging from his social media, although mostly private due to my means, he's been dating someone named Cam for approximately 8 months. 8 months. She seems to have led a dual existence for 8 months. There's more. I looked up county records. Your wife. A marriage license application was filed 3 weeks ago stating her marital status as never married and using her maiden name, Camilla Torres. This is a case of false representation and fraud. If she proceeds with the ceremony, it would constitute bigamy, a Class I felony in Wisconsin. She may face criminal charges. If you report it, yes. Potential imprisonment for up to 3.5 years along with fines. I pondered in the passenger seat. I wish to consult an attorney before proceeding further. "Wise," Reeves replied. "I'll send you my preliminary report by Monday. You'll find all necessary information there." The lawyer's name was Holland, a shrewd woman in her 40s, skilled in handling complex divorce cases. On Tuesday morning, I visited her downtown office with Reeves' 50-page report. She meticulously read through it, occasionally jotting down notes or searching for legal references on her computer. "This is an exceptionally robust case," she concluded eventually. "Not only for divorce but also for potential criminal proceedings. The fraudulent marriage license application alone constitutes a severe offense. What are my possible courses of action? Option 1. Discreetly confront her, file for divorce, inform her about the fraud but decide against pursuing criminal charges. Clean break, likely swift settlement since her infidelity and attempted bigamy considerably weaken her bargaining position. Should you report her to law enforcement prior to the wedding date? This could lead to her arrest for fraud and bigamy, as well as a simultaneous divorce filing that would bring additional legal repercussions. If you wish to sever ties with minimal fuss, option 1 might be preferable. However, if she's been deceiving you, misusing funds, manipulating you, and planning this scheme for months, then perhaps she should face significant consequences." I found myself reminiscing about the past 8 months, her lies about being at work or with her sister, her yoga class, and the intimacy we shared while she was secretly involved with someone else. The casual goodbyes in the morning, knowing she'd be seeing him later. "I choose option 2, I declared. "I aim to unveil everything simultaneously, not only to the police but also to Dominic. He deserves transparency about what he's about to encounter." Holland gave a subtle smile. "You desire a dramatic confrontation. I prefer truth that can't be twisted or justified. We must then strategize," she stated, picking up a legal pad. "Time is of the essence since the wedding is merely 6 weeks away." Over the next 3 weeks, the plan crystallized as Reeves continued observation, recording each encounter between Camilla and Dominic. He verified that she had informed him she was concluding a complex roommate issue and would reside with him post-wedding. Furthermore, he found out she'd established a covert checking account and had gradually withdrawn $18,000 from our shared savings over 6 months. Holland initiated preliminary divorce proceedings, but chose not to serve Camilla immediately. Instead, she reached out to the district attorney's office with proof of a fake marriage license application. They appointed a detective, Detective Morrison, who focused on fraud cases, to handle the case. Meanwhile, at home, I maintained the routine: dinners with Camilla, watching TV together, and listening to her discuss work problems and wedding preparations for her sister's baby shower. Unbeknownst to her, the walls were closing in. On February 20, Camilla informed me about a girls' weekend in Chicago with her sister and college friends, involving shopping and spa treatments. I knew from Reeves' surveillance that she was actually with Dominic, finalizing cake tastings and music selections with their DJ. That Friday night, I bid her farewell for the trip and wished her a fun time, then headed to Holland's office for our concluding strategy meeting. The venue walkthrough is set for February 28, Holland mentioned, scattering papers on her conference table. During the final inspection, all vendors including catering, photography, florists, and others will be present. Dominic and the venue coordinator will also be there. This is a crucial moment. Detective Morrison has agreed to attend as well with officers ready. However, she needs concrete assurance that your spouse intends to proceed with the bigamous marriage. A walkthrough alone might not suffice. It could be argued she was planning to divorce you initially. So, what's needed? A recording of your spouse admitting she is still married to you while making wedding plans with Dominic, something undeniable. How can this be obtained? By provoking her during the inspection. Call her and use a pretext that necessitates her acknowledgement of your marriage. Inquire about joint tax filings, home refinancing, or insurance paperwork. Any topic that compels her to interact with you as her legal spouse while she's in the process of marrying someone else is suitable. It was risky. If Camilla grew suspicious, she could halt everything, causing me to miss my opportunity, but it was also ideal, as February 28 arrived crisp and transparent. I phoned in sick for work once more and journeyed to Riverside Manor with Holland and Detective Morrison in separate vehicles. Reeves had verified the 02:00 p.m. walkthrough appointment of Camilla and Dominic. We arrived at 13:30, parking in the rear lot so we could watch the entrance. At 15:55, Dominic's BMW pulled up. Camilla stepped out wearing dark jeans, a cream sweater, and the smile of a woman preparing for her ideal wedding. They vanished inside. At 14:20, when Reeves texted that they were in the main ballroom with the event coordinator, I made my call. Camilla picked up on the third ring. "Hey, what's new? I'm actually engrossed in something." "Apologies, just a quick query," I said, maintaining a casual tone. "I'm checking our mortgage statement, and there's a notice about refinancing options. Are you interested in investigating that? On the call, you suggested saving us around $200 monthly. There was quietness from your side, sounds of background chatter hinting at a discussion about table setup. You eventually responded, 'Now's not convenient,' and suggested talking later. 'Can we discuss this tonight?' I affirmed, adding that you were working. After another pause, you disclosed you were busy with a patient consultation. 'All right,' I replied, expressing affection. 'Love you.' You reciprocated, ending the call. We both listened to the recording in the car, Holland commenting, 'It's not quite enough.' She accepted the mortgage and marital property, but a skillful lawyer could potentially argue that you were planning a divorce before the wedding date. 'So now what?' I asked, to which she responded, 'Now we proceed inside.' Detective Morrison guided us, accompanied by 2 uniformed officers, as we entered Riverside Manor through the main entrance. The venue coordinator, a slender woman with a clipboard, glanced up in surprise as law enforcement entered her opulent foyer. 'May I assist you?' Morrison asked, displaying his badge. 'We're searching for Camilla Torres. We possess information suggesting she's present here.' I hesitated, then indicated the main ballroom. 'Wedding inspection,' I explained. The coordinator's eyes expanded as she glanced at me and then at the officers, seemingly calculating the situation mentally. 'Follow me,' she eventually said. We traversed the venue's hallways, passing the bridal suite and catering preparation area, until we arrived at the double doors of the main ballroom. Morrison swung them open. The room mirrored what I had seen through Reeves's surveillance images. Large windows bathed the space in afternoon light, white chairs aligned in rows, a mock altar set up at the distant end. And there, right in the middle, was Camilla and Dominic with the coordinator examining what seemed to be a floor plan. All 3 turned their gaze towards us as we entered. Camilla spotted me first. Camilla's facial expressions swiftly changed from bewilderment to recognition, dread, and eventually a frozen terror. "Grayson?" she queried, followed by confusion. What are you doing here?" I cautiously advanced, fully conscious of Detective Morrison and the accompanying officers behind me. In my hand was a file containing our initial marriage certificate, her falsified marriage application, bank statements detailing funds transfers. Detective Morrison moved forward. "Camilla Torres?" he inquired. "Yes," she whispered. "I'm Detective Morrison with the Milwaukee Police Department. I require a conversation with you regarding a marriage license application submitted on January 17th this year." Dominic stepped nearer defensively. "What's happening?" he demanded. "Who are you?" I replied, looking squarely at him. "I am her husband, legally married for 5 years. We are each other's spouses." The color left Dominic's countenance. He turned to Camilla. "What's the subject of your conversation?" Camilla hesitated, her eyes filling with tears. "You submitted an application for a marriage license," Morrison clarified, "stating that you were never married and using your birth name. Is that correct?" I had intended to divorce him beforehand. "But you didn't," I said. "As we speak, you are still legally married to me, and it appears you were planning to wed Dominic on March 15th without first dissolving our union." Dominic recoiled from Camilla as if she had turned poisonous. "Are you joking? You've been married all this time?" "Ms. Torres," Morrison stated, "bigamy is a Class I felony in Wisconsin. Furthermore," he added, "supplying false information on a marriage license is considered fraud." "Indeed," he nodded. "I fear you must accompany me for some questioning." "Hold up. Are you arresting me? We're having an interview." "You're entitled to silence." Morrison recited Miranda rights to Camilla while an officer comfortably held her arm. Camilla was now weeping uncontrollably, mascara streaking, glancing between me and Dominic in utter terror. "Pray for me, Grace," she pleaded. "Please, let's discuss this. I made a mistake." "Numerous mistakes," I replied softly, "over 8 months. While sharing our bed, while planning a life with someone else, while taking $18,000 from our shared account, Dominic, standing by the wall, now appeared ill. $18,000? Cam, what on earth? You're dismissed." Morrison told him, "But we'll need a statement from you as well. You're a potential witness to attempted bigamy." "Oh my goodness," Dominic exclaimed. "I had no clue she was married." "We trust you," I said, and I did. Looking at his face, the sheer agony, the deception, I saw someone who'd been deceived just as thoroughly as I had. The officers guided Camilla towards the exits. She was still sobbing, still trying to glance at me. "Who revealed it to you?" she inquired abruptly. "By what means did you discover it?" I displayed my phone with a screenshot of the anonymous message, her picture in the wedding gown, the note about the venue tour. "I never determined who sent it," I admitted. "But I'm thankful they did." Camilla's expression contorted. "This is preposterous. I wasn't intentionally causing harm. You were trying to marry someone else," I told her. "While married to me, that's the essence of causing harm." They led her out via a side exit to avoid the venue staff congregating in the corridor. Morrison remained behind to discuss with the coordinator and collect evidence records. I stayed in the vacant ballroom where sunlight from Holland poured through windows onto chairs that would never be occupied. "Regarding Camilla's second wedding, how do you feel?" Holland questioned. "I feel numb," I replied truthfully, feeling validated, sad, and vindicated all at once. "That's standard." Dominic approached us cautiously. "I apologize," he said. "I understand my apology doesn't hold much weight, but I genuinely didn't know." "I accept your statement," I replied. "She's skilled at separating different aspects of her life." "For 8 months," he stated, shaking his head. 8 months spent planning a shared future, meeting her roommate occasionally, discussing starting a family. The entire time, the whole period she was residing with me. "Yes," he replied, rubbing his face with both hands. "I need to take a seat." We sat in the vacant auditorium chairs, myself, the man my wife attempted to marry, my lawyer, and we awaited Detective Morrison to collect evidence. The consequences unfolded over the next 3 months. Camilla was charged with attempted bigamy and fraud. She admitted guilt to the fraud charge, thereby dropping the bigamy charge. 18 months probation, restitution for the misused funds, and a criminal record followed. The divorce was finalized in May. I acquired the house, most of our savings, and everything significant. Holland ensured Camilla's infidelity and criminal allegations removed any power she possessed. Dominic messaged me a few weeks following our confrontation at the venue. "Just a brief text. Thank you for revealing the truth. I apologize, we were both ensnared in her deceptions. I didn't respond, but I valued the sentiment." The anonymous message that ignited everything remained unsolved. Reeves speculated it was someone from Camilla's circle, possibly a colleague or friend who knew about both relationships and couldn't bear the secret. Camilla remained silent on the matter, and I eventually stopped pondering. What mattered was the truth emerged. I sold the house in August and purchased a smaller one near downtown. A new beginning, free from recollections of arriving home to someone living a double life. Occasionally, I reflect on that instance. The ballroom, watching Camilla's expression, as she recognized her entire plan had crumbled. A mix of satisfaction and sadness coursed through me, as the life we constructed crumbled under the weight of deceit. Mainly, I felt relieved I uncovered her bigamy plans before they escalated, relieved I opted for evidence over emotional confrontations, relieved the truth emerged in a manner that left no room for manipulation or confusion. She persistently called during divorce proceedings, always blocked numbers and late at night. I never responded. We had nothing left to discuss. The last information I received was she returned to her parents in Green Bay, working at a new dental office. No online presence, no overtures to shared friends, simply vanished. And in this silence, more than anything, lies justice.